Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, my name is Dr. Ferry Darmawan, and I'm the leader of the research team that member are Mr. Arif Rahman, M.P.D, and the student member is Miss Venny Sevtiany. We are from Universitas Bandung, and I'm actually from Faculty of Communication, and Mr. Arif Rahman from Tarbiyah Faculty of Universitas Islam Bandung. Our research will discuss about utilization of ICT in the development of visual communication-based early child care and education teacher competencies. Therefore, the title of our research is Visual Communication Models in the Development of Early Child Care and Education Teaching Materials based on Inkscape graphic application.
The COVID-19 pandemic has not only limited people's activities but also changed various aspects of human life, including the field of education. This change is felt in the learning process, which requires teachers to understand communication technology. The purpose of this study is so that teachers can create teaching media based on visual communication independently. The visual communication model developed in this study used the Inkscape graphic application to create teaching materials in the form of picture storybooks. Making teaching material independently has the advantage that teachers can include appropriate topics or themes that are local, for example, making caricatures of students as the main characters in storybooks. So far, teachers only use teaching media available in schools. Unfortunately, not all these storybooks support the material they want to convey related to character development. Thus, it is necessary to develop teacher skills to be able to create independent teaching materials based on the data obtained. They had never made an independent storybook and had never even used a graphic application to prepare teaching media. So they said they were very interested in learning about this Inkscape application. This research used development research method. The detail of the method, this method is number one, preliminary studies. Researchers conduct preliminary research through literature studies, observation, and centralized discussion group or focus group discussion to obtain data on teaching media commonly used by early childhood character education teachers. And then product design, then the researchers developed the concept of visual communication method to create independent teaching materials. The design here is still hypothetical and has not been tested for correctness and reliability. Design validation. Design validation is the process of justifying the development of a visual communication method model designed by experts in the field of visual communication to see the extent of the strength and weakness in the developed model. The results here are still limited to scientific reasoning assessment and have not been tested for fact in the field. And then model trials. After going through the improvement and refinement of the validation result, a limited test was then carried out through quasi-experimental methods, for example, to see the effectiveness of the visual communication model after being given the treatment model compared to the previous learning model. And the last, model revision, researchers revise the visual communication method model based on the evaluation result of the model trial. Okay, and now the result and discussion. A visual communication model that creates independent teaching media for education, childhood care, and education teacher has undergone several trials with respondents. In addition, the model has also been disseminated in seminars and focus group discussion, as well as training for early childhood of education teachers. The visual communication model has several stages, namely preparing the storyline following the theme of character education. And number two, preparing photos of students who are reference material for plagiarism or tracing image. Number three, creating a script or story script that is adapted to the concept of the story and then translated into a visual language. And number four, apply the visual communication model of storybook making with Inkscape application. To develop this visual communication model, some aspects need to be considered, including children's story writers need to place themselves and visualize stories based on children's perspective or glasses. And then an early childhood educator needs to understand the characterization of child development so that the material talk follows the stage of their development. And graphic language in visual communication is nothing new. This kind of language is not only used in one culture for a time in a story or by someone. Graphic language are an excellent way to combine information, communication, and share knowledge and insight. Well-designed visual image can produce a more robust and memorable learning experience than just verbal or textual description. Improve visual thinking skill. An essential part of visual learning is to display and organize ideas graphically. Related to cognitive development, if it is associated with the creation of storybooks, it can be arranged based on the type of book and its age. Toddler can use the kind of non-speech book or also picture books that begin to have simple words in the form of short dialogues, and children who are the age of 6 until 7 start to recognize picture books with simple sentences because of preparation to go to the elementary school. The focus of this research is on the non-word book or field image, which is made in such a way that the images display can convey meaning to children. And this picture book is also able to help children in terms of language development, such as expressing language and also understanding situation in stories. Okay, the technique used in the manufacture of caricatures using Inkscape is tracing image. First photo of students are prepared in advance, then imported into the Inkscape page, then using tools like tracing image using tracing paper. Children's pictures are stored on different layers from the working document. This plagiarizing activity is at the core of using the Inkscape graphic application as a visual communication model for early childhood character development. The results obtained from this tracing process are then stored as images of the main character in the story. Based on the research, the conclusion is this research early childhood character development is the main thing in education in school, especially early childhood education. Many learning methods can be used. However, in the current era of digital technology, early childhood care and education teachers' ability is required to develop their skill related to mastery of communication technology. Based on the research result, teachers have never made a storybook independently to use during learning. Introduction visual communication model in early childhood character development to research respondent improve early childhood care and education teachers' competence, especially in graphic design. Continuous training will enhance the teacher's ability to use the Inkscape graphic application. However, as a basic knowledge of visual communication model, early childhood education teacher who were respondent to the study could use Inkscape to contain independent teaching media. Thank you for listening. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.